Welcome to Pokemon Too Many Types. This is a ROM hack made for Pokemon Emerald by Alpharad and his team where they added 44 extra types and 118 moves. I decided to go into this completely blind and just do a Nuzlocke. If you don't know what a Nuzlocke is, you just catch the first thing you see on any route. If you fail to catch it, you lose that encounter. No items in battle. You play on set mode. If your Pokemon dies, they're dead for good. Immediately at the beginning of the run, I realized I was way in over my head because the starters were Chikorita, Fennekin, and Popplio. I should mention that it's not the normal Pokemon Emerald Pokedex. It's a completely changed regional dex of 295 Pokemon spanning all the way up to Gen 8. I chose Fennekin because in my caveman brain I figured burning things would be effective against most things. In hindsight, looking at the type chart, which looks like this monstrosity by the way, Fire is tied at 14th for the best offensive type, so it wasn't the worst choice in the world. After saving Professor Birch and winning the first rival battle, I got Pokeballs and the run had finally begun. I collected my first early route encounters, an Angie-type Poochyena, a Fluffy-type Sentret, a Bug-Song Kricketot, a Fluffy Cottony, and a Grass Vibe Lotad. As a side note, I've never played Pokemon Emerald, so I was flabbergasted when I realized you get 6 Pokemon before the first gym. I had way too much confidence running headfirst into the Aquagrunt fight in Petalburg Woods, but I figured, hey, I have 6 Pokemon, this can't go that bad. Are they gonna be like Water Silly? I hope they're Water Silly. Or are they Water Angie? What the fuck? Why does it have 3 types? So now I'm sitting here staring down this JoJo stand of a Darumaka using Hustle Rollout, and I've never been more terrified of this flaming Cheeto chicken nugget in my life. Luckily it misses rollout, but not before taking out both Amara and Lunar. Immediately after getting to Rustboro City, I headed straight for Route 116 and caught a Butter whose typing is Grass, Poison, and Baby. If you're wondering what the Baby type does, it's weak to every single type except 3. Starting the Roxanne fight, I opened with Cottony with the idea of just Mega Draining all our rock types to just win. And that went stellarly for a Geodude. But what I didn't know is that our other 2 Pokemon just weren't rock types. Her Baltoy, which would normally be Ground Psychic and weak to Grass, is now Ancient Psychic, which isn't weak to a single move on my team. The worst part was its moveset. Not only did it have a combination of Rock Tomb and Fossilize, which meant it could hit every single type for at least neutral damage, but it had a move that absolutely stun-locked me. Wait, Fossilize is an ancient move, right? What in the fuck? Why? Why? All things considered, this wasn't a hard battle because I just swapped to Furitsu and used Puff Up until its attack was so little that Roxanne just kept feeding it potions until it died. After getting the stone badge from Roxanne, I headed into Rustturf Tuttle, and surprisingly my encounter was still a Whismur. After that, I had to go all the way back to Petalburg to take the boat to Dewford to challenge Brawly. As I started the battle with Brawly, that's when the man himself appeared, Alpharad. All he said was, "Hope you're having fun with the run, Alpharad W." When it was lovely Alpha stopped by, I couldn't help but feel threatened by the menacing emote left in my chat. It was just staring at me blankly. It made me feel like I wasn't prepared for what was coming. I defeated the Mankey in 3 hits. It did so little I wasn't worried. And yet I could still feel a danger looming. Brawly throws out Sock. I don't think anything of it. It's a mediocre fighting type, and its only good stat being its attack. It normally breaks and into Sock would be an easy battle. Usually it learns Psybeam level 18, which is the level cap. I didn't have a Psychic move because Breakson was changed to a Magic type. When I tell you this Sock is a menace, that's not even a half of it. I died in 1 hit of Double Kick. Sure, it's a physically frail Pokemon, and I wasn't at full health, but still, my entire mindset shifted from I might lose a few Mons to it's over. I tried Whismur, died immediately. I'm now down 2 Pokemon halfway into Brawly's gym. I swapped to Furitsu and opened with a Puff-Up, and it used Focus Energy. I got 3 Puff-Ups, but Sock is so bulky, even at -6 attack, it killed me faster than I could kill it. I'm down to 2 Pokemon. I throw out Glitch and get off a Leech Seed. It outsped me and killed me the next turn. I threw out Kricketune. Brawly immediately used a potion, and I'm back to square one with a not very effective Furry Cutter. On an insane string of luck, I go 6 hits without being crit and kill his Sock. Brawly throws out his last Pokemon. It's a Machop. Why? I can only get 3 fishing encounters with the Old Rod, which are Magikarp, which I named Alpha in hopes of breaking whatever curse that forbidden emote cast upon me, a Wimpod named Crow, and a Krabby with the most fitting type I've ever seen. You know, that makes sense. Inside Granite Cave, I caught a Mankey that I named Monkey. I really couldn't think of what else to name it. After pulling out the Granite Cave map and delivering the letter to Steven, I headed to Slateport to deliver the parts in the museum. While leveling my Monkey before the Team Aqua Grunt fight, I learned that Mankey has the most, unique moveset. because I'm probably about to replace it anyway. Monkey moment? Huh? What does that mean? What, does it do anything? Okay. Monkeys around to cause excessive damage. Hunka bunga. Your monkey forgot how to ooga booga, and now your monkey has learned how to unga bunga. This is so dumb. There's a lot of story beats here I'm just gonna skim over because you're only here for the goofy little type shenanigans. But we beat up Brendan, caught a Sandshrew, learned that Lickitung is a Republican and also sus. Weasel is Republican? What? Caught a Pikachu on my way to Mauville, who's a little bastard, but we'll get into that later. Without a better fishing rod, I couldn't actually catch anything else, and I genuinely do not know where the fishing rods in this game are, so I kind of just had to challenge Watson with a team I already had. But first I had to solve this ridiculously difficult gym puzzle. Fucking baby game. Right before challenging Watson, I realized a small change this game had made to level up moves. Normally, if an evolved Pokemon learns a move at level 1, you'd have to trade a heart scale to the move relearner to relearn that move. But in this ROM, you can just relearn moves for free in the party menu. And while normally this wouldn't matter too much, Gyarados has literally no good moves. And for some reason, up until Generation 7, Gyarados learns Thrash at level 1. What I didn't know is that Thrash's power was buffed by 30 and it was changed to the Anki type. You guess what type Gyarados is changed to? I opened the gym battle with Mankey because if I start with Gyarados, the Porygon would just trace my Intimidate and lower my attack. Mankey just barely ekes out a win on Porygon and Whimsicott comes out. Watson's Whimsicott in this is an absolute monster. With Stab Prime type rollout called Hype Train as well as a Stab Fluffy move, if I'm not careful, I will wipe here. I swap to Wimpod and take half my health, which activates its ability Wimp Out, which lets me freely switch to Gyarados to activate Intimidate. I swap back into Wimpod, letting it die so I can get another free Intimidate off, and then spam Thrash until Watson is out of potions. Pikachu comes in and Sandslash just barely kills it faster than it dies, and now I'm on to Watson's last Pokemon. Applianceless Rotom. Why do the gym leaders keep throwing out their worst Pokemon last? Watson gives me the Dynamo badge as well as a hammer, which I should not be trusted with under any circumstance. He also gives me his gym's signature TM Hype Train and says, can we get a Hype Train going? Which is why this seems like a good place to tell you to subscribe. You know you want to. I won't even show you the funny graph. Just click the silly little red button. Beyond this point, there's a bunch of story that should warrant something in the script, but literally nothing survives Thrash Gyarados. This thing is an unstoppable force of death. I caught a Magby, a Muck, a Honedge, and a Cleffa, but literally none of that matters. This Gyarados is still destroying everything. None of the Team Magma Grunts on Mount Chimney stood a chance. I run headfirst into the Maxi battle without a thought in my mind that isn't Thrash with Gyarados. Maxi's team falls in seconds. What was once a simple Magikarp is ascended to its place amongst the gods. I make my way through Flannery's gym. She throws at a Furret. Dead. Ninetales. No, don't get me here until I spam. What?! In hindsight, it was stupid to lock myself on a Thrash thinking I could become a god. On the other hand, I think it's hilarious that I went full Icarus with a Pokemon named after Alpharad. I was on speed up, so I had actually no idea what had just killed me. But here's where we talk about that little bastard called Pikachu. Pikachu's type? Pikachu. Its moves? Pikabolt, Pikattack, Rocket Punch, and Play Nice. Admittedly, I thought all of these were made up moves, but apparently Play Nice is real, so that's interesting. Given that I have no idea what matchup the Pikachu type has with anything, I just decided to throw it in and hope it'll survive at least one hit. It does, and it wasn't even close. Pikachu paralyzes the Ninetales, and I swap in Honedge to set up a Swords Dance before Shadow Sneaking, which is a super effective move because it's a Dream type. And if I think about it, and then I stop thinking about it, that makes sense. Flannery throws out Arcanine. If she uses Flame Charge, she'll just outspeed my entire team and I'll wipe. She decides to use Warm Hug and paralyze my Honedge. She goes for Bite and crits. I just barely hang on and I get through Paralysis and kill the Arcanine. I could not have gotten through that gym without Honedge. After a swift reality check, I get the Heat Badge and completely forget where I'm going for about 15 minutes and then realize I'm supposed to be going to Norman's gym. And that's probably around the time when you realize, hey, I haven't seen a normal type. So you're probably wondering, what type's Norman's gym? It's a furry gym. Our father is a furry gym leader. What a great game. He leads with a Floatzel, which gets immediately obliterated by a magnitude 10, and then he throws out Vaporeon. Don't say it. Because to let Gyarados die in Flannery's gym, I don't have a single resist to water. I try feint punching it with Magmar, and it burns all Norman's potions, but I don't do enough to kill it before Magmar goes down. Pikachu just barely finishes it off with a Rocket Punch, but I don't have enough firepower to get through the rest of Norman's team, and unfortunately I wipe. I definitely made a lot of mistakes, especially the Gyarados, but we don't talk about it. But this run was so much fun. Thank you to Alpharad and his lovely team for making this a lovely ROM hack. Go watch his video if you haven't already for some reason. And thank you again to Alpharad for stopping by the stream. Again, this run was so much fun, and I honestly might do it again. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye!